Hi, I'm Tina. Welcome to CMC Markets Weekly Outlook, where I'll be taking you through the key events and issues that you need to be aware of in the global markets this week. The U.S. stock markets fell for the second straight week. Jumping bond yields continued to weigh on sentiment. The U.S. headline CPI printed at 3.2% year-on-year and 0.2% sequentially, the smallest monthly increase in 2 years. However, the Fed officials will most likely to keep interest rate at a high level till inflation comes down to their target of 2%. At the same time, jumping oil and gas prices complicated the inflation trajectory, pressured on risk assets. The U.S. retail sales for July and FOMC meeting minutes will be major economic gauge this week. Also, quarterly earnings from big retailers, including Home Depot and Walmart, can be the bellwether of the U.S. consumer sentiment. The largest retail shop, Walmart shares rose more than 40% from its low in June 2022. In the first quarter earnings, the retail shop beat market expectations in both earnings per share and revenue, as its grocery business helps to offset weakness in clothing and electronics. The company is also a major component of the consumer staple sector in the S&P 500 and can be seen a defensive stock bearing an economic downturn. In Asia, China's sluggish domestic demand becomes a critical issue for the global markets as weak spending power drags down commodity prices. The country will release a slew of influential economic data this week, including the industrial production, retail sales, and fixed asset investment, gauging the country's economic recovery. Coming to Australia, energy stocks led to a weekly gain on the ASX 200, thanks to jumping oil and gas prices. The earnings season continues to roll on with the rest of Big Four, including NZ and NAB, updating their quarterly results this week. Australian banks are facing macro challenges and fierce competition. Narrowed profit margin could be common trends of these flagship lenders. On the economic front, the quarter 2 wage growth and employment data will be also on investor radar. At last, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand will decide on its cash rates this week, providing clues for the bank's policy path and the country's economic health. That's all on the horizon this week. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and I will get back to you. Please subscribe to the channel for future videos, and I wish you a great week ahead.